You're still watching Newsday here on Rise News. The African Artists Foundation is going to open up a group exhibition titled Liminality in Infinite Space. That's on the 28th of November 2020. This exhibition spotlights 23 artists that form part of the new vanguard in the field for contemporary African figuration. Well, joining us now to speak on contemporary African arts and the exhibition itself is Jana Terblanche, an independent South African curator. Jana, many thanks for joining us on Newsday today. Tell us more about this upcoming exhibition, Liminality in Infinite Spaces. What does that mean?
Good afternoon. Firstly, thank you so much for having me in your beautiful studio. I'm very honored to be here and to be in Lagos. This is my second time, so I'm adjusting, but it's exciting. Liminality in Infinite Space is a group exhibition that really spotlight the varied expressions of what it means to be an African body. So not just tending towards damaging tropes, but actually to encompass the full experience of what it means to be an African body, from happiness to solitude to play. And liminality in infinite space just means that there's so many infinite expressions of being African. So yeah, that's the crux of the exhibition.
All right, Jana, tell us, what can you tell us about the 23 artists that are part of a new order in the field of contemporary African configuration? Tell us about this new order and 23 artists.
It has been happening for a long time, but in more recent years, it really has been happening, I think, on Instagram. These artists are connecting with each other in a way that faster than they ever could before. So they're connecting, sharing ideas. So us as curators have just stepped in and really tried to pick artists apart, to put them together in a way that really can canonize this movement. So these artists are from varied places, from Africa, they are, and from the diaspora. They're from South Africa, they're from Nigeria, they're from Mozambique, Lesotho, Congo. There really is a lot of different countries represented here. So it's exciting for me because I'm connecting with the Lagos-based the Nigerian-based artists for the first time. But I've been on the ground in South Africa and working with the South African artists. So there's very varied expressions of artists. There's painters, there's tapestry artists, there's woodcut artists. So yeah, there's really a lot to see on this exhibition.
Thanks, Jana. And I understand, well, from reading a blog post, I understand that the exhibition also aims to change the narrative and depiction of blackness. Tell us more about this.
Yeah, I think blackness has, as I mentioned earlier, especially within the African continent, there has been certain tropes. We've seen African bodies depicted as miserable. We've seen African bodies depicted as magical. This exhibition just wants African bodies to be as they are. They come as they are, happy, sad, playful. It's not putting pressure on them to perform, and not performing for the Western gaze. So this exhibition really frees artists, and that's that word liminality. Liminality is an in-between space. It's an open space. It's a vast space. So that's what the sort of what the curatorial concept is.
Let me ask you this. Why is this particular exhibition highlighting the traditional aspects of, art making against the modern ways?
Yeah, so I mean, what that means is it's just going back to the traditional form. So this exhibition has a major focus on painting, tapestry, woodcut, whereas there isn't such a focus on installation or video-based art. Because we've been noticing that, the curators have been noticing that artists are using these really old media, but to speak to the contemporary experience of being a body. So we're interested in that sort of tension between the old media and the contemporary expression.
Thanks, Jana. And you're an independent art curator yourself. How would you say art exhibitions have been affected this year by the pandemic?
Well, I'm so happy you bring that up, because it's definitely this exhibition has been quite different for me to work on, because I have been working from it remotely in South Africa. The team has been spread from Europe, Lagos, and I'm based in Cape Town. So we've really had to make use of the online space, a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of connecting with artists in a virtual way. So it's definitely been different, because ideally you want to visit an artist studio, but we've all adapted, and I must really just commend the artists. They've been so forthcoming and incredible with just sharing images and making our job a lot easier.
Why do you think it's crucial or necessary, if you like, for these ideas to be articulated and incubated in the African, or if you like, on the African space?
I'm so glad you asked that question. So this exhibition is actually the second exhibition in a series of exhibitions. So I'm the co-curator of this exhibition. Azinu Mbogo, from the director of the African Artists Foundation, is the head curator, and Princess Ayula is the co-curator with me. The first edition of this exhibition happened in London, at the Unit London Gallery. The second iteration of this exhibition is happening here in Lagos, and it's really important for these ideas to come home and to be incubated on the African continent, because this is where the ideas were born, and this is where the ideas should come from and spread to the rest of the world. We can't let Western sort of powers take control of our narrative. We have to let African artists and curators speak for themselves.
Be able to define those narratives for oneself. It's the most important thing. Jana, how many guests are expected at this exhibition? And to add to that as well, you mentioned that this is the second exhibition.
Yeah.
Tell us more about what the first focused on.
Yeah, the first iteration of the exhibition it happened in London, and it was called The Medium is the Message. This is really a follow-through of those ideas. We've added some artists, we've added some ideas, and the grand plan is to kind of have this carry on and have it evolve with time as new voices come in, as new ideas come in. So it's really, this curatorial concept doesn't end. It carries on in an endless loop as new artists come in and new ideas are developed.
All right, let's see. Talk to us about what you called fetishized, I think that's how you put it, representations of blackness that enforce damaging tropes.
Yes, I mean, the fetishization of black bodies has been happening for centuries. So black bodies have been represented in art in a way where they didn't have agency. This exhibition gives the African artists agency because they are speaking for themselves. And again, they're not performing for the Western gaze. They just are. In fact, they're making art for the communities where they come from. So this exhibition veers away from sort of those like damaging ideas and really just allows artists to express themselves how they want to be. And it's not for a Western audience. It really is for, I think, for their peers.
Thanks, Jana. And when it comes to scouting the art or the artists, as a curator, do you go out there yourself, look for artists? Do you encourage artists to come forward and put their names forward for exhibitions? Asking in case there are any artists out there listening interested in the third exhibition coming.
You know, there are so many ways that you can connect with an artist. Often one artist will lead you to another. I mean, of course, the virtual space, Instagram, allows like endless opportunities to connect with artists. So I'll often find myself connecting with one artist and an artist will suggest someone else. Or I'll come across something and, you know what, the team at the African Artists Foundation, I really have to commend them as well because they've also just been on the ground and for a long time doing the work and also sharing artists. So look, artists are always welcome to reach out and share their work. And if it fits, we can make it work.
All right, we're going to leave it there for now.
Thank you.
I didn't get to ask you about why hold it in Lagos, but that's all we can take. Jana.
Thank you so much for your time.
Terblanche, yeah.